Welcome to Sportpen. We're jumping straight into the heart of a team that sparks endless debate, in barbershops and sports bars. That the 1985-86 Boston Celtics, this wasn't just about squeaking out wins. It was like a masterclass in basketball, a collection of unforgettable personalities all pulling in the same direction, really fueled by this relentless hunger to be the best. We're going to unpack what made this season so legendary, those moments that made you jump out of your seat, and ultimately try to understand why this team still gets name dropped when the GU conversation comes up.
Yeah, it's a fascinating case study. Really is. Team dynamics, sustained excellence. This wasn't just a group of stars thrown together. They truly understood how to elevate each other's game. I mean, when you think about it, they had 5 future Hall of Famers: Bird, McHale, Parrish, Walton, Dennis Johnson, and 6 guys who would later coach in the NBA. That's an incredible depth of basketball IQ on one roster.
Absolutely incredible talent, and you hear their name constantly, right? Top 2 or 3 NBA teams ever. Right alongside Jordan's Bulls, those high-powered Warriors teams. Some folks will even plant their flag firmly, in the 86 Celtics camp. Argue they were the best. What fuels that argument when you stack them up against those other dynasties? What's the core of it?
Well, a key element, I think, is they're just suffocating dominance on both ends of the court. We often focus on offensive firepower, which they had, but their defensive intensity was just as crucial. And that home record, that season, losing only 1 game at Boston Garden regular season or playoffs, I mean, that's just a testament to their control. It must have created this psychological barrier for opponents.
Right. That one regular season loss, people still talk about who it was against. But yeah, it just highlights how dominant they were at home. And it wasn't just against, weaker teams either. Their record against the league's elite, those teams pushing, 60% winning percentage or better, it was remarkably strong. They consistently rose to the occasion against the top competition.
Exactly. Yeah, they weren't just beating up on the also-rans. They were consistently taking down the other contenders. And let's not forget, that level of talent, all playing together, understanding their roles, and sacrificing individual stats for the greater good.
Yeah.
That's rare. It's a potent combination. That's what elevates a great team to, legendary status.
It really is, the sum being greater than its already, incredibly impressive parts. Yet you sometimes wonder, do they get a little lost in the shuffle when those greatest ever discussions really heat up? Maybe because they didn't have that single, record-breaking regular season win total like the 96 Bulls. Get it?
That's a perceptive point. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Perhaps the lack of that one easily quantifiable record makes their dominance feel, less tangible for some people. However, if you look at their efficiency ratings, both offense and defense that year, they were truly exceptional. They weren't just scoring a lot. They were doing it incredibly efficiently, and they were equally stifling on the defensive end. That kind of balance, that's the hallmark of a truly great team.
And a huge part of that 86 narrative, you have to talk about the arrival of Bill Walton. Former MVP, a guy with this incredible pedigree, but also a really well-documented history of injuries. It felt like a high-stakes gamble at the time.
Oh, it absolutely was. A significant move. Trading a beloved player like Cedric Maxwell for someone with immense potential, but also, considerable risk. And the Clippers owner then, Donald Sterling, he certainly didn't make the acquisition process easy. It dragged on. There was this real sense of anticipation, maybe bordering on anxiety about whether Walton's body would actually hold up for a whole season.
Right. But there was also this almost mythical aura around Walton, wasn't there? Going back to those UCLA teams, undefeated runs, and that 77 championship with Portland where he was just otherworldly. People remembered that peak Walton.
Absolutely. And Walton himself, he's spoken so eloquently about how joining the Celtics gave him a new lease on his basketball life, a chance to rediscover his joy for the game after some difficult years. And beyond the stats, his enthusiasm, it was infectious. Everything was fantastic, unbelievable. He brought this unique energy even off the bench.
And on the court, even in that 6-man role, his impact was just undeniable. His passing for a big man, it was just on another level. It unlocked so many opportunities for that Celtics offense, didn't it?
His court vision and unselfishness were remarkable, truly. He had this knack for finding cutters, making these pinpoint passes that often led to easy baskets. If you think about their offensive sets, Walton's ability to operate as a high-post playmaker added a whole new dimension, made them even harder to defend. It wasn't just Bird anymore orchestrating everything. Now they had another elite passer in a crucial spot.
And that unselfishness, it seems like it was just ingrained in that entire team's DNA, right? You hear stories about Bird setting the tone, this almost telepathic understanding between the players. Always looking for the open man.
Yeah, it was often described as like basketball artistry, ballet on the court. Their passing wasn't just about moving the ball. It was about creating scoring opportunities with flair and precision. They anticipated each other's movements, often connecting on passes with just a glance. It was instinctive. Even the other big men, McHale and Parrish, they were incredibly skilled passers, which is, pretty unusual. It made their offense so multifaceted.
They took pride in it. You could see it. Pride in carving up defenses with their passing game. It wasn't just about individual brilliance. It was about the collective joy of executing a beautiful play that led to an easy score. That speaks to a very high level of team cohesion and just basketball IQ.
It really does. And speaking of unique aspects, you can't discuss the '86 Celtics without talking about the legend of Boston Garden. It wasn't just another arena. It had this almost palpable sense of history, intimidation.
Absolutely. Situated right over the train tracks, that distinct smell. Visiting teams knew they were in for a different kind of experience the moment they walked in. It was almost like the building itself was, the sixth man on the court.
There were all sorts of psychological elements at play there. The stories about the visitors' locker room, less than luxurious, the lack of perceived air conditioning, maybe no hot water, and of course, the mythical dead spots on that parquet floor.
Oh, yeah, the dead spots. Red Auerbach always played coy about those, didn't he? Never confirming, but certainly never denying them either. If opponents were worried about it, hey, that was a win for the Celtics right there. All part of that legendary gamesmanship.
Exactly. And let's not forget the fans. That passionate, knowledgeable Boston crowd. They created an electric atmosphere. It undoubtedly fueled the Celtics and made it a truly hostile environment for visiting teams. That relationship between the team and the city is a powerful force.
So let's zoom in on some of those pivotal moments then, the ones that really defined that season, that 41 home record. It's just staggering when you think about it. You went into the Garden expecting a Celtics win, and most of the time, that's exactly what you got.
Yeah, that level of consistency at home is it's a hallmark of a truly dominant team. But the playoffs, they always throw in new challenges, and they certainly faced some memorable ones that year.
You immediately think of that double overtime battle against Michael Jordan and the Bulls, right? Game 2. Jordan put on an absolute show, scoring 63 points, still a playoff record. Even in a loss for them, it was this incredible individual performance, really hinted at the legend he would become.
And Bird's quote afterwards, comparing Jordan to God disguised as Michael Jordan, it perfectly captured the respect they had for his talent, even as they were fiercely competing against him. It was one of those moments that sort of transcended the game itself, acknowledging the arrival of a new superstar. But crucially, the Celtics still found a way to win that game, showcased their resilience under pressure.
Then you had that Eastern Conference Finals sweep of the Bucks. Bird, he was just operating on another plane in those games. It was like watching a basketball symphony.
His all-around game was simply breathtaking. Scoring, rebounding, passing with incredible precision, playing tenacious defense. It was a complete masterclass from a player at the absolute height of his powers. Just unbelievable to watch.
And then the finals against the Rockets, Game 6 in Boston. You could feel the weight of history in that building. Bird said himself he had never been so locked in for a game. They took control right from the opening tip.
Their focus and determination were palpable.
Yeah.
They left no doubt who the better team was that night. And even seeing Bill Walton, with his injury history, throwing his body around, trying to defend his teammates against a much bigger Ralph Sampson, that kind of encapsulated the selfless team-first mentality they had all season long.
Now let's talk about Casey Jones, the coach. There's always this debate, isn't there, with super talented teams, how much of the success is the coaching and how much is just, the sheer Hall of Fame talent on the roster.
It's a valid debate. It always comes up. Some might argue that with that much talent, the coach's role was more about managing egos, keeping everyone on the same page. However, their sustained success over multiple years under Jones, it suggests he was doing something right. It wasn't just a one-off.
You think back to strategic adjustments, maybe, like Dennis Johnson switching on to Magic Johnson in the '84 finals. That was huge. Whether that was player-initiated or a coaching decision, it speaks volumes about the high basketball IQ and adaptability within that whole organization.
Exactly. Jones fostered an environment where those kinds of adjustments could happen, whether he called it or enabled it. He empowered his players, created a system that allowed their intelligence and instincts to flourish. It's a testament to his leadership, I think, even if it sometimes gets overshadowed by the massive star power on the court.
And what about those crucial role players? Danny Ainge, for example. He was so much more than just a pest out there. He was a legitimate three-point threat and a tenacious defender.
Ainge provided that vital combination of grit and skill. Yeah, pest is part of it, but he's a fearless competitor who could knock down big shots and wasn't afraid to get under the skin of opposing players. His versatility was a real asset.
And Dennis Johnson.
Oh,
Wow, he transformed his game in Boston, didn't he? Became this defensive force and a reliable playmaker, earned the respect of everyone.
DJ became one of the premier defensive guards in the NBA in Boston. His toughness, his intelligence, his ability to perform in clutch moments, invaluable. The fact that Larry Bird considered him one of his greatest teammates ever, that really says it all about his impact.
And Robert Parrish, the chief. Sometimes his consistency, his quiet excellence gets overlooked, maybe. He was just the perfect anchor for that team. Steady.
Parrish was the epitome of reliable production, always there. His rebounding, his defense, particularly his help defense, and his steady scoring, essential to their success. He was maybe the unsung hero sometimes, but he consistently delivered what they needed.
Of course, you can't forget Kevin McHale. Those low-post moves. Incredible array. His ability to score in so many different ways. He was just a matchup nightmare down low.
McHale was an offensive force, pure and simple, capable of scoring on anyone in the league with that unique blend of size, footwork, and agility. He provided that crucial second or third scoring option alongside Bird and Parrish, and was a dominant rebounder, too.
And orchestrating it all, Larry Bird. The ultimate competitor, the guy who could do everything, the heart and soul of that Celtics dynasty.
Bird's impact was just... It's immeasurable, really. His vision, his passing, his scoring, his leadership on and off the court. He set the standard for excellence. He was the driving force behind their relentless pursuit of championships.
So the 1985-86 Boston Celtics season, it wasn't just a collection of wins and losses, was it? It was this perfect storm, kind of. Talent, chemistry, the unique magic of Boston Garden, and the shared, unyielding desire to be the absolute best.
Yeah, from Walton's inspiring comeback story to their just breathtaking passing, and Bird's iconic performances. That season is forever etched in basketball history. It's a reminder of what true team greatness looks like, the synergy.
And when you consider all the factors, their dominance, the individual brilliance, and the sheer joy they seem to play with, well, the debate about their place among the all-time great teams, that's going to continue to ignite passion for generations to come, I think.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.